Hi YouTubers, it is I, the Hell Gear. Mangosteen juice. It's time to recap the Doll Dragon event. So, as always, share your opinions of the event in the comments section below. I would love to hear how you guys fared. I'd love to hear the strategies that you've used. And I'd love to know just how far in the Doll Dragon tiers that you managed to get. So first and foremost, let's take a look at this shot that you see. Happy Munchkin, happy Munchkin. Normally, when I do an ending recap video, it shows all the forms of the event's dragon. This time is a little different, as you can see. We don't get all the forms of this event's dragon. We only get the level 4. And this has only happened a couple of times. You know, this is one of those times. I believe the Passion Dragon was another time, and the Ancient Games was, again, another time where we didn't get all the 4 core stages of the event's dragon in the picture. On the left is the level 4 Doll Dragon. Now on the right is a different dragon. Now, I bring up the Passion Dragon because an interesting little meta came into the mind when it went, I can English. An interesting bit of meta came into play starting from the Passion Dragon onward. And that was a tertiary event dragon. When the game updated, they introduced what's called the Onesie Dragon. And they even put its eggs in the shop. And that is what you see on the right. That, I'm guessing, is the level 4 Onesie Dragon. The egg looks really weird too, which the eggs for both of these dragons looked really weird. You could see the stitching on the Doll Dragon egg, which you can see the stitching on this Doll Dragon. You know, the idea of a plush toy that's a living plush toy is rather interesting. You know, it's going to be fun to see this thing spit fire when I have to take down those weird statues in my camp. I mean, it's going to be really weird to see this spit fire. You know. But yes, the Onesie Dragon's eggs are available. And if you manage to get that shoe right there, which is not a shoe, it is a roller skate. The roller skate was the 3rd place item in the tier, but it was also one of the collectible candy tiers. I believe that was the 1700 tier, which is really odd that they would use something like that for this event. Now, what I will say is this. These events are starting to make it very hard to get 2 objects of the same upper level to farm for tiers. You know, I had 2 level 2s and then enough time to get a level 3, and the level 3 is when you get the yo-yos, but you may also get a chest out of them. And it's not easy getting that in. I also implemented a different strat, one that was suggested by a commenter and a fellow player. And it was this: deal with the brambles first, harvest all the brambles so you can get enough of the life sprouts and get your life orbs going. This actually worked because the strategy I wanted to implement this time around was save up life orbs for the big life orb nuke and then just nuke the field, cleansing a lot of chunks of dead land at a time for a mass heal. And the problem with that is it takes too much time. You know, too much time. Also, I've started doing what I like to call the 8 merge. And I'm going to reiterate this one again. Many players have said that, quote, "Helger, you should merge 5 instead of 3. It's better this way." The problem with merging 5 instead of 3 is that when it leaves you with 2 items, you can, and many times this happens, and this is one of the reasons why I was able to prove that this does not work, is that when you get your 2 items, you're stuck with 2 items, but you don't have a third one to merge into. Yeah. So you're left with 2. So if you merge a 5, then another 5, you have 4 items, which means you have to merge 15 to actually get 3 for the next end result. Now what I managed to do was I decided I'm going to go a little bit further and merge 8. And what this does, when you merge 8, you get 3 of the next tier in line. So one of 2 things happens when you merge your 8. Thing B, you'll get the combo merge. From the 8, you'll get the 3. And those 3 will then merge together into the next tier. So essentially, you'll skip a tier for life orbs or for collectibles, whichever one you do. Or, thing A, the 3 for the next tier that you've made just pop out and they're ready to go. Now, let's be honest. Doll Dragon. Since a lot of people may not know this, but May 5th or Cinco de Mayo is different in Japan. That has nothing to do with this thing, as they've said, because as I've mentioned, the development team for Merge Dragons is in England. But anyway, in Japan, May 5th is Children's Day. And children like a lot of toys. And to an extent, some adults like a lot of toys. So I guess it makes sense that we have a toy-themed event. And toy-themed dragons with stitching and seams and everything. And as much Puppet Master and living toys that I've seen, especially if you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh, you know, this doesn't make sense. Wait, isn't Christopher Robin British? I know something like that is. I know in the Disney Junior spoofs, Christopher Robin has a British accent. So that's probably some of the basis they had for doll dragons. It's going to be interesting to see these guys spit fire when I have to take down the possessed statues for a Gaia statue in my camp. And I know I'm working on healing one. So it's going to be interesting to deal with that and stones and whatnot. You know, the idea of a plush doll dragon spitting fire is kind of funny to me. You know. Connection issues, unlike the Sea Dragon event, they weren't as heavy. You know, there was a bit of slowness going on in the event, but it was a tolerable slowness, and it wasn't a slowness to the point where it actually kicked me out of the game, which is good. You know, the development team actually worked on that one, so thank you for that. And also, no thanks for making this 3 days. You know, and I dread saying this because it's constantly beating a dead horse. And I've said this often in the past couple of events. Actually, I've said this in every event. You know, 3 days, and people agree with me. Not just my commenters, but fellow members of the Merge Dragons community. They agree with me. I even got likes on this when I posted this to Twitter. I was like, can we have the rest of the events 5 days long? And I got likes for that tweet. Players know this. 3 days is not enough time. You know, but I've decided that the Merge Dragons development team has decided to stick it to players and say, look, we gave you some events that were 4 days and 5 days, but the 3 days is our perfect balance here. So you guys are going to have to deal. Or at least that's what I'm thinking they said. And unfortunately, that's just not gonna work. You know, you really have to put in the grind for this. And it's rough. You know, when it started out with the Moon Dragon, it was 3 days. I barely got the level 4 moon dragon. So even if you're on it, you might just barely get the first prize. Otherwise, you're going to be at a loss for it. Mangosteen juice. Now, someone asked me how far I got. I wanted to get to the nest of the toy dragons. I managed to get to the life orb tree and was about 1,000 or so away from getting that roller skate right there. Which, the roller skate not only gives you a lot of tiers, it's also the 3rd place prize in the event, which gets you some more of those onesie dragon eggs. Like the Bun Bun cake does for... What was the other dragon from the Bun Bun? I have to look it up, man. I'll know when I go into camp. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that spit out some onesie dragon eggs after 10 hours of camp time, since it's dropped. You know. Also, I want to make another note that the design of the onesie dragon's egg looks really, really weird. You know, the doll dragon egg also looked weird, but the onesie dragon egg looked like the shell had a shell. I don't get that. You know, I really don't get the shell having a shell. Almost like a snake skin shedding, blah. I can English. A snake shedding its skin. Sip the mangosteen juice again. It's weird. I don't know which of these two dragons I like more. The one wearing a stitching onesie, or the one that has no onesie at all but is stitched by design. That, like I said, living dolls is not something that's new. It's a premise that has been done a lot. You know, it's toys. June is coming up, so hopefully the June event, it has a really interesting dragon. It's summertime after all, and I managed to get the 4th place prize, so that's a victory in my book. Almost got 3rd place. Would have been nice to get 3rd place. I wasn't even expecting to get 4th place. I was expecting to take 5th place, but I took 4th, almost got 3rd, not mad at that. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. You know, I'm going to have to figure out how, when June comes around, how I'm going to deal with these 3 days for the next event, because it's just not enough time. It's never enough time. That's all I'm going to say. I will be looking forward to your experiences and how far you got in the comments section below. I'm probably not going to store up for the big nuke and then mass wipe the land clean of all dead land and heal come June, but we'll see. So for now, I take my dragons to camp because I'm done. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.